for Grandma. Crimson, saffron, and green pepper-shaded saris blew wildly in the warm autumn breeze. The servant ran quickly to save them from flying off the clothesline, her own mint-green sari flying in the wind. She cried, "Eh!" to herself, and then ran back to the house. Today was a busy day. Vaidehi Amma's baby was being born. Above the maid, although she didn't notice, kingfishers, blackbirds, and green-jeweled parrots flew and chattered among the mango and palm tree tops. Sheltered within a hidden fig tree, an owl drowsily watched the commotion. A little while later, a baby girl entered the world in her grandfather's grand, spacious house in the historic city of Mysore. The little girl, whose hair was always perfectly braided to geometric precision, grew up wanting to make the world perfect. She kept her candy-colored langas neatly folded in the Godrej wardrobe, a matching blouse to each one tucked within its printed voluminous skirt. Upon each langa sat matching bracelets, earrings, and necklace. Prabha Devi believed in dressing for the world and for herself. The little girl grew up upon the wide open goldfields of Kolar. In the big garden of her father's house, she watched myna birds argue in banyan trees, rogue monkeys scamper through jackfruit trees, and plucked ripe mangoes the moment when they were ready, and not a moment earlier. Her father, chief electric engineer of the Kolar goldfields, had a huge bungalow for his family near Smith Road. The little girl loved watching the British officers and Indian workers head towards the mine every morning. So much activity. Each day she thought, "I am waking up with the world. We both have millions of things to do." Prabha Devi loved watching her mother make lunch, chapatis, curries, fragrant drumstick sambar, before her mother would take a bath. On some days, Vaidehi Amma would tuck her sari between her legs, kachichiri style, before she'd take off for the British club to play tennis there. Prabha was always amazed at how her mother played tennis inside the large pool room, in which walls were covered with pictures of serious-looking British officers in the area. Prabha also loved her siblings, Shamu the dreamy poet, Harini the lovely intellectual, Ramu the sweet brilliant brother, and Raghu the distinguished scientific brother. As she approached her 15th year, family started talking about marriage. She protested initially, saying she didn't want to marry, but her father convinced her. He's a good boy. In 1935, upon the Kolar gold fields, Prabha Devi married Kadambi and Antaram. The years tumbled quickly one after the other after marriage. She passed the exams to enter medical college, but her husband didn't want her to work, so she didn't. But she didn't become bitter about losing her chance to be a physician. She poured her energy into every aspect of caring for all members of her family. 3 kids, 6 grandkids, cousins, nephews, nieces, uncles, aunts, which really is what a true doctor should do. Care for every patient's physical and emotional needs. Her slogan was simple: every problem has a solution. She arrived in the U.S. for the birth of a grandchild. While she saw many wonderful places in America, she commented, referring to St. Louis, "The silence is so loud here." America was truly a different land. She lived with her kids in the U.S. over the next few decades, with interim trips to India. In St. Louis, her son-in-law marveled at the lengthy process she undertook to make her coffee just perfectly every single morning. She'd put fresh coffee in the brass drip machine, and while she waited, she'd put dishes away and then boil milk until it frothed. When the coffee was ready, she'd pour it into steaming milk, add sugar, lots of sugar, and then pour the entire concoction from one steel tumbler into another until it was perfect, a velvety concoction like chocolate, a stimulating sweet beverage with which to begin her day, every single day. And as those days passed, her siblings began passing on. She bore the passing of each stoically. Harini, then Ramu, Shamu, then Raghu. But Raghu's passing was the most difficult. How could her little brother no longer be here on this earth? "Am I dead?" she asked when given the news. She had just, a few years previously, discussed buying socks for his wife while with him in Walgreens. Her granddaughter witnessed it. It was very intense. How does the world turn so? But it does. The 13th day after Prabha herself passed on, a beautiful large owl appeared on a catalpa tree in her son-in-law's house in St. Louis. It returned every day, except for the night when it poured rain, for exactly 4 weeks. Exactly 4 weeks. Not 2 weeks, which wouldn't give her granddaughter a chance to really absorb and marvel at the stunning link with the natural world. Not 6 weeks, maybe her granddaughter would just stop appreciating the owl's presence then. She wouldn't. 4 weeks, a perfect length of time. Her granddaughter, astonished at this avian occurrence, wrote her college professor of classics about it. He responded, and I quote, "Just reading your words made me feel exhilarated, for it is a story at once mysterious and believable. It is one of those events which make life a joy." And now I wonder, if we are allowed to create heaven as we wish, I imagine her having a house not too big nor too small, but of a perfect size for her and her loved ones. It will be resplendently clean. Her saris will be color-coded with her blouses, and they will be shelved perfectly in a little folded sari-size slot. In a little folded sari-size slot. The saris will be fragrant. Outside her house, the garden will be luxuriant, abundant. Kent mangoes at their peak perfection, fresh, firm, plump, purplish eggplant, eternally green, fresh dill. She will sit on a chair on her veranda with her morning coffee. The steel tumbler will be just the right size, not huge like modern mugs, nor too small. After her coffee, she will get up. There will be a garden to tend, lunch to cook, because it will be a new day, and there will be a million things to do. That's about my grandmother. If any of you knew her, she was really extraordinary, very independent woman. Her English was perfect, perfectly articulated. And so after, that's right, a couple of things to explain in here. Langa means a skirt that young girls wear. And Godrej is a brand of a wardrobe that I've seen in many houses in India. And this is the catalpa tree, this one and the next one, where the owl appeared on the 13th day after her passing, and it really was incredible. I took a picture of the owl. Anyway, it's incredible. It's on my website if you'd like to have a look. Thank you.